Alright, we're going to try this again. Hello everyone, this is Rideshare 411. Today I want to talk about driver safety and whether it's safe or not. Now, I've seen a few videos on YouTube here with people describing, how safe rideshare may or may not be, especially for females. And while there were a lot of good information and tips, I think a lot of the posters pretty much sugar-coated certain outlooks on the driving. So basically, when I'm talking about ride sharing, I'm mainly talking about Sidecar, Uber, Lyft, and yeah, that's pretty much it for now. The Sidecar, Uber, and Lyft. Now, a lot of people are wondering, how safe is Uber or Lyft or Sidecar for female passengers? While it's relatively safe, just like in anything that you do in life, there's a lot of potential dangers, especially for females. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in at the moment. Maybe someday in the future it won't be, but for the most part, females especially have to be careful with where they go, what they do, and with who they do these things. But don't get it twisted. A lot of it applies for guys too. A lot of times us guys, we think we're immune to those things, but we're just as vulnerable, and we have potential to have things happen to us too if we're not careful. So a lot of these things also apply to guys. Now, with the ride sharing, yes, ride sharing is pretty safe. Most of the people you're going to pick up, are I want to say high tech or yuppie type of people, all the way down to everyday people. And what makes it kind of different, or gives you a sense of false security, is that, in order to sign up for a lot of these rideshare companies as a passenger, you have to give them your credit card information, or banking that's tied to your banking. So therefore, people assume, oh, okay, well, since the passengers are giving that type of information, then you know what, Uber knows, or Sidecar or Lyft knows everything about them, and I'm safe. But you know what? All you're really doing is just they're verifying that you have money in the checking account, and they're taking their money and making sure to get paid. Okay, so it's not. I doubt that you have information like where they live, what's their social security, and date of birth and all that stuff. Now, maybe there may be a way that, if need be, the ride-sharing company could get that information, or maybe somehow, at least obtain partial information so they could collect money should they ever try to stiff, the riders. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't assume that just because the rideshare companies have that information that you're safe. Again, a lot of people could commit fraud. They can use fake identities, and they can set up a rideshare account in the purpose to, rip off the companies and get free rides. So just keep that in mind. But that's far in between. And like I said, you can do a lot of things to help minimize your exposure. Okay. Another thing is, go with your gut instinct. Now, we've heard a lot of stories where, people recalled certain situations where they either listened to their gut instinct or they didn't. And pretty much 99% of the time, there was some, valid reason behind that. So if something doesn't feel right, you're allowed to cancel rides. Go ahead and do so. Also, before you pick up passengers, especially if it's nighttime, lock your doors. Do not unlock them until you verify that it's the person who requested the ride. A lot of times you hear about people getting in cars and it's not their ride, and then they steal it from the other passenger that originally had gone in the ride or requested the ride. So if they could do that, more than likely you could have any stranger that could just jump in your car and then maybe take you, and that's kind of scary thing to think, but you just have to do that. Or maybe you might get some crazy drunk person and they're in your car, and then it's going to be hard to get them out of your car. So why deal with that? So again, leave your doors locked. When you arrive at the scene, open the window slightly, ask the passenger their name. If it's them, then go ahead and let them in. But be careful. Sometimes friends will request rides for other friends over the phone, and then when you get in a car, they give you a name and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm Sally," or Sally called, my friend, but the guy getting in the car is actually called Dave. So again, with that, you kind of have to, judge the situation. If they get the name right and they say it's their friend, more than likely it is. You could even ask them what time did your friend order the ride, or get some more extra information. Or if you need to, go ahead and cancel. If you don't feel comfortable, you cancel. You won't get into trouble for that. You're allowed to. Okay. And what else did I want to talk about? So hopefully I've answered some questions. And I know what I was going to talk about. Also, driving at nighttime. Get to know your city, because even at nighttime, it's pretty safe. If you go to certain areas where they have pubs/bars, and more of the yuppie crowd goes to those areas, then even if you're out driving late, you're still going to be okay. Most of the people like just have beer, have a good time, relax, and then hang out for a couple hours, let the beer wear off, and then call Uber or Sidecar or a Lyft. So usually they're in groups and they're couples or friends. So usually you're okay with that. But again, if you ever want to drive at nighttime, just drive around, get a feel for the areas. There's a lot of areas in San Francisco that they seem like they would be okay for a female. Again, that's just my opinion. I do a lot of driving at nighttime, and for the most part, I've had good experiences. Knock on wood. Never have had anyone throw up on my car. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reply or respond to my video. Make sure you like and subscribe. All right. Take care.